Everything that you see on today's demo is for example purposes only, and absolutely none of it should be treated as trading advice. Again, everything you'll be seeing today is for example purposes only. The trades we will be placing in the account today are live actual trades. So we don't offer paper or demo trading accounts. So these will be live real fills that you'll be seeing during the demo today. But all right, off the bat here, we're going to start with a little general layout and navigation. One thing I always like to show off here in the upper left corner of our screen, we have our dashboard tab. So this is a nice place to start each day. On the dashboard tab here, you're just going to get a breakdown here at the top of the page of how the market's moving today. You also, off to the right side of the page here, you get a graph of your portfolio net lick day over day. And then you can adjust the time frames as well. You see we have the 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 month, and then the 1 year as well here. Underneath that, we have a news section. So this is where you're going to see all recent news articles that have come out for today. And then if you're interested in reading any of those, you can actually just go ahead and click on the article and it will populate there for you to read. And then toward the bottom of the dashboard tab here, well, you got a couple more news articles there, but toward the bottom, we have a couple preset watch lists as well. So here's the Tasty Earnings watch list. These are companies with upcoming earnings. In the middle of that, we have the Dividend Champions watch list. So this is a list that's compiled of companies that have increased their dividend payments over the last 25 years. And then finally, we have the Tasty Fast Movers watch list next to that. But that's really it for the dashboard tab here. When it comes to general layout and navigation on the platform itself, this is what you're going to see when you first load things up. Off to the left side of the page here, and I do want to split this up into basically 3 main panes that you have here on the desktop platform. Off to the left side here, this is where you're going to see a watch list. So this watch list is constant. It's constant on the screen. It cannot be removed in any way. There's a little slider here that you can use to increase or decrease the width of it. But other than that, it cannot be removed. So it's pretty nice that you have that watch list up there constantly. So if you're ever looking to navigate to a symbol quickly, you can actually just go ahead and click on it from the watch list here. You'll see as we click on Apple, it populates it here at the top of our screen. So that's now our active symbol. So pretty neat feature there. Next, we are going to have our main panel here. So that is going to be pretty much this entire portion of the screen. This is where you're probably going to be spending a ton of your time when it comes to placing trades, charting, reconciling profits and losses, things along those lines. That's where you're going to be spending most of your time here in the main panel. At the top of the page, you do have a breakdown of your active symbol. So in the upper left corner here, this is where we can actually search for a symbol. So if you place your cursor there, left click, and then type in TSM, for example, hit enter. You can see here now our active symbol populates as TSM. And then you can see at the top of the page as well, you get the IV rank, last price, size, change for the day, the bid, the ask, and then ultimately you have the actual name of the company off to the right here. Underneath that, this is where you're going to see your portfolio value. So you could see right now we're in privacy mode, but this is where you'd be able to see your net liquidity, your profit and loss for the day, year to date, and then ultimately your option and stock buying power as well can be seen at the top of the page here. And then the last main portion of the desktop platform that I want to point out to everybody is actually going to be this right sidebar panel. And it's to be honest with you, it's probably my favorite feature because there's a lot of useful things in this right side panel. So to access that, if you take a look in the upper right corner of your screen, you're going to see a left facing arrow. So if you go ahead and click on that, we'll pop out our right side panel here. And depending on screen size and resolution, I actually like to keep my right side panel docked. So if you have this, if your screen's large enough, you may have this little arrow icon in the middle. There should be 3 icons here. You'll have this one in the middle. This is what you'll want to click on to dock this right sidebar panel. And it's all personal preference, but this is something that I do like to keep docked personally. I think it's a very, very useful feature when it comes to overall efficiency and speed in terms of like getting in and out of trades, tracking how you're doing quickly. And I'll show you all how to do that, or how I like to do it, at least as we get further on in the demo here. But this is how you're going to dock the right sidebar menu. And then from here, we do have some pretty useful tools. The first tab here, we're going to have the overview tab. So this will give a small chart and a quick overview of the active symbol that you're viewing. So right now you can see we have TSM pulled up. If we were to change that to Tesla, now we get a chart for Tesla, some quote details. We could see at the bottom of the overview tab as well. We'll see any recent or activity here on Tesla as well, and then any open positions. We don't have anything currently open in Tesla, so there's nothing in the position detail right now. But maybe if we did SPY, we have an open position in SPY here. I'll show you all what that looks like. Search for SPY. That's what your position detail looks like. So you see we have an iron condor here, and you can see that both on the main positions tab and also off to the right sidebar here. Another important feature I wanted to point out here on the right side panel, just before we get into actually placing trades, is going to be the order chains feature. So if we go back to TSM here for a second, this order chains feature, which can be accessed by clicking this icon right here, this order chains feature is going to be extremely, extremely useful when it comes to tracking trades. So if you're someone who is constantly rolling options and you're tracking those manually right now on an Excel file or something along those lines, the order chains pretty much replaces that. This will track all of your debits and credits received for those rolls, and then ultimately your total P&L considering those rolls as well. So as you see here in the order chains, if we scroll down the page a little bit, let's find a nice one. Here we go. Looks like we had a debit spread that was opened on, it looks like we had a debit spread that was opened on TSM back on December 28th for a $1.31 debit. Then that was rolled for a 26-cent debit. You can see that there. And then ultimately, we rolled the short leg again for a 95-cent debit. And finally, we ended up closing it for a $2.46 credit. So to track your total P&L on this position, all debits and credits received, you'll actually see here we came out with a net loss of $6. So that was arrived at just by totaling all the debits we paid here. So all the debits we paid, and then netting that against the credit that we ultimately closed for, came out to a $6 loss. So pretty neat feature there in terms of tracking. Another really useful thing with the order chains here, if you were to right click on one of these rolls here, so let's just go ahead and right click right here, you'll notice we get a box here. It says view market state snapshots. If we go ahead and click on that, this will actually bring up a little chart here, and it will show you the price. You can see a couple different things here, but right now we have it set to showing the price of the underlying each time we performed a adjustment in this position. So right here, you can see the first diamond here. That's going to be when the position was open. Looks like the price was at about $1.05. That's where TSM was trading. We rolled it. It was at about $1 or $105.01. We rolled it again at 104.93. And then finally, we ended up closing it at a price of about 104.98. So pretty neat there. You could actually go back and review maybe why you ended up rolling that position. What was the underlying price looking like? Among a few other factors, you can also see IV rank here at the time of each of your rolls, the IV index, delta, and then also theta. So pretty neat feature there with the market state snapshots. All right, now let's go ahead and move on to actually the reason why I'm sure most of you are here. How do we actually go ahead and place trades in the account now? So in order to do this, the main place you're going to want to start is going to be in our trade tab here. So how do we go ahead and place an options trade? It's what we'll start with. Well, right now, obviously, the equity market is closed, but we do still have about 17 minutes here to place some futures options trades. So let's go ahead and pull up the ES, so /ES, hit enter. Now you'll notice we get the expirations listed for the ES options. So let's say maybe we're interested in placing a trade for the July 2nd expiration. So what we can do is just go ahead and left click on the blue line here that shows the July 2nd expiration. And if you're someone who maybe bases your trades off of days until expiration, don't worry, those days until expiration are listed down the center column here as well. And then off to the right, we have the IVX displayed, and then the expected move as well. So you could see for the July 2nd expiration, that would be plus or minus $55.75. So that expected move is displayed here as well. But let's go ahead and click into that July 2nd expiration now. And now we'll be presented with your traditional options chain here, have the strikes displayed down the center of the screen. Off to the left of the strike prices, this is where the calls are going to be displayed. So just note that calls will be on the left side of the strikes, and then puts will be on the right side of the strikes here. So let's go ahead and queue up maybe a put spread here on ES. Maybe we want to go just outside of the expected, or right at the expected move. So maybe we'll sell the 54.80. We know that's the expected move or near it because of this this orangish brown bar here on the screen. This is going to display the expected move that you could see in the upper right corner. So that plus or minus $55.75. That's translated to the actual strikes here, and shown using this orangish brown bar here. So if you're not seeing that, to double check it in order to add that, or make sure that you have it added, I should say, let's go ahead and actually take a look really quick at the settings menu. So if you click on the gear icon, this will bring up our settings tab. If you click on trade and then display, under price range overlay, you'll want to make sure that you have expected move displayed here. So if you have it set to none or daily high and low, go ahead and change that to expected move. You should see, and then hit OK. You should see this orangish brown bar here. If you're still not seeing it, you may have to adjust your strikes as well. So come up here to the right corner, click this drop down box under strikes. Right now we have all strikes for ESU4 being displayed. So that expected move will definitely display there. But maybe if you're someone who's only displaying 8 or 10 strikes at a time, that expected move bar will actually disappear because it's outside of the amount of strikes that are shown. So you'll definitely want to make sure you have all strikes added as well if you're still not seeing that expected move bar. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and actually start placing this trade. So we're going to go right at the expected move here, sell the 54.80 put, and we're going to make it $5 wide. Let's go ahead and buy the 54.75. So to do that, you'll want to click on the ask price for the 54.75. To sell, we clicked on the bid price here. And then you could get a breakdown of the actual trade you have queued up in the bottom left corner of the screen here. So you can see the order we currently have queued up. We're going to be selling one of the July 2nd 54.80 puts, and then buying one of the July 2nd 54.75 puts. We have our limit price box at the bottom of the screen here as well. So this is where you can set the price at which you would like to submit the order. Another very important thing to note here, especially if you're trading things that have wider spreads and you're having maybe a difficult time getting filled, if you're just submitting at the mid price, you're going to want to check out the actual spread of that. So you can see here, right now, our mid price is at $1.05 credit. We have this nice little price bar underneath the limit price box there. The mid is at now a 95-cent credit. The natural price on this is at a 25-cent credit. So if we went at 95 cents, we may not have too much success getting filled there. But let's go ahead and actually just bump this order down to 50 cents, see if we could get filled there. Off to the right, we have our order type. This is a credit spread, so that's why it's showing net credit. Then finally, we have our time in force. Right now, we have this as a good till cancel order, but you can also submit it as a day order if you would like. So if you wanted to change it to day, go ahead, click that drop down box, and then choose day. So now we have an order lined up to sell to open, a put spread here on ESU4 for a 50-cent credit, and that's going to be a day order. So let's go ahead and hit review and send now. This will take you to our review screen. This is where you're going to be able to review the overall trade, the commissions and fees that you'll be paying as well are listed here, as well as the overall costs. So commissions and fees displayed right here, and then buying power effect as well. So you can see how your buying power is going to be reduced if you were to place this trade. Let's go ahead and send this off. Send order. See, we have an order working there. Looks like it's going to give us a hard time. Oh, actually, there we go. We just got filled at $1. So how do we see this filled position? Well, we can see it in a couple different places and ultimately manage it from all these places I'm about to show you. Right off the bat here, you can see the filled position from the trade tab. That's denoted by these white squares with the -1 and the +1. That indicates that you do have an open position for those strikes. Another place where you can see it is going to be in our positions tab. So if we were to tap on the positions tab here, click on ESU4 at the top of the page here, and you'll notice that will expand our position. So now we can see the 54.80, 54.75 put spread that we opened. And finally, the last place you can see it is going to be in the right side panel, which happens to be my favorite place to manage positions from, just because this right side panel, now that we have it docked, it opens up the ability for you to actually trade all of our products from one screen without having to worry about navigating around to different places on the platform. So you can stay on the trade tab, you can keep the options chain open, or if you're viewing a chart, you can keep that open and still track your position using this right side panel. Again, you don't have to, it's a neat feature because you don't have to worry about navigating to your positions tab, and then all of a sudden you no longer are able to see the chart, so you can't really see what's going on in the underlying that you're trading. So it's really, really nice. But if we go back to our trade tab here to see the position in our right side panel, you can see it in a couple different places. Off the bat here, you're going to be able to see it in the overview under our position detail. So you can manage the position from here. So if we were to left click on each of the legs and then right click, we get the option here to line up a closing order directly from the right side panel. Another place you can see it, which is new as of yesterday's release, we now offer order chains for futures options. So those of you who have maybe been with us for a while, I'm sure you know, and you trade futures options, I'm sure you know that's a brand new feature which people have been asking for some time now. So we were finally able to deliver on that. So it's going to be really, really nice for futures options traders, especially if you're rolling positions as well. You'll be able to track those pretty cleanly from the order chains. But we can see this open position now from the order chains as well. That's just going to be at the top of the page here. You get your average trade price. So we open it up for $1 credit. You can see the current mark as well, and the total profit and loss. Now, if you're looking to close this position, if we were to just right click on this line here that says open position, we right click here, you get that same box that says close position. So if we go ahead and click on close position now, it will line up a closing order for that future spread that we just opened. So you can see here lined up exactly what we wanted, an opposite order here. We're buying to close the 54.80 put, selling to close the 54.75, and then we have our limit price box here as well. So if we want to just get this order filled, maybe we want to bump this up to $1.15. We'll see if that goes. Net debit, and it's a day order. So we're all set to go to submit this one. We'll hit review and send. Review our commissions and fees paid, as well as how it's going to impact our buying power. And then let's go ahead and just send the order off. You'll notice now we had that working, and boom, the order filled here. So you could see that in the notifications that pop up in the upper left corner. And then now you'll see the order chains also updated. So we had our vertical position that was originally opened, and then now we have a closing position here denoted. Here it says closing. So you now know that that position's been closed. Another indicator here would be this blue filled in circle. That indicates that that position has been closed in the order chains. If it were to be a yellow circle that was, or a yellow outline of a circle, that would indicate the position is still open. All right, everybody. I know we went a little quick there to get that order filled. Are there any questions before we move along here? I know I went through that rather quickly just because I tried to beat the close of the futures market here. All right, awesome. Doesn't look like it just yet. Okay. So moving on along here, now that I've shown you how to place a futures option, I've shown you the order chains for futures. There is an equity option position that I opened prior to today's close. We can see that that was actually done on SPY. So just to kind of get a bigger picture of that, we'll just go to the normal positions tab here. So let's navigate back to positions. We can see we opened that SPY Iron Condor here before today's close. Reason I opened this is because I wanted to show off how you can actually set up bracket orders for multi-leg option position or multi-leg equity option positions. So how do you set up a bracket order, a multi-leg equity option position here? Well, what you can do is start by left clicking each of the legs that you want to be included in that bracket order. So for example, maybe if you only want to set up a bracket order for one side of the trade, just left click on the puts or the calls. Or if you wanted to set up a bracket order for the whole thing, you'll have to go ahead and left click on all of the legs to highlight them like this. And this goes for any type of closing order as well. If you're looking to close out of a position and it's a multi-leg spread, please make sure that you are selecting all of the legs first. And then once you have them highlighted, place your cursor in the highlighted area and then right click. And in this case, we're going to be doing a bracket order. So we'll go ahead and choose bracket from here. And then this will bring up our bracket order window. So we have two main boxes here. I know we've got a couple different things on the screen right now. But this first box off to the left, I mean, this trade's already filled. So there's no adjustments that need to be made to this one. Really what this is going to show you is your trade price of the position that's already been opened. But the main focus here for the bracket order is going to be these boxes off to the right side of the window. First, we're presented with our close at profit order, and then we also have our stop loss here as well. But we'll go ahead and start with the close at profit. So maybe if we wanted to close this thing out when a 60% or 60% of max profit was achieved, we can go ahead and line that order up quickly from here by adjusting the target profit percentage. So if we use the arrows here, we can bump that up to 60. You can also just manually type that in and hit tab down, and then that will adjust it as well. 59.77 since it's a spread. You can't fill something for like half of a penny. But same thing, basically 60%. So that'll be a order to close at 70-cent limit price. So once we have our close at profit order lined up here, we can also now make an adjustment to our stop loss order. Now, since this is a spread here, please note that we do not offer market orders on spreads. So when it comes to a stop, the only type of stop you'll be able to place on a spread is going to be a stop limit order. So there's two prices that you'll have to set, both the stop trigger and ultimately the stop loss. So from here, you can set that in the stop loss box here underneath. Again, we have two prices. So let's say maybe we want to set our stop trigger down at, we'll call it like $3.25. Now, where can we set our limit price? So personally, you can do whatever you would like. You could set them both at $3.25 if you wanted to, but I do like to give myself a little bit of cushion here just in case the price were to blow right past $3.25. You run the risk with a stop limit order of that order actually not filling, because what happens is your stop is triggered at $3.25, but then price blew right past $3.25, so that limit order is not going to fill if the spread is now trading for something higher than $3.25, because that's not considered to be your limit price or better in this case, since we're buying to close. So I do like to give myself a little bit of cushion. We'll go ahead and set this stop limit price at $3.30 just in case. And then we have the time and force that we can set for each of these orders as well. Right now we have the stop set as a good till cancel, so we'll keep it there. But you also get the option to do a day order or a good till date. And then same thing with the close at profit. We have it as GTC. We'll again keep it there as GTC. So now that we've got everything lined up here in the bracket order window, let's go ahead and send this trade off. Review and send. And then again, you're taken to this review screen where you see overall buying power effect of these orders. And then you can see estimated total commissions and fees as well here. So we'll go ahead and send this now. And then you'll see, since the market is currently closed, those orders are in a pending state, but those pending orders can be seen here from the positions tab. So if you're following along and maybe you're not seeing those pending orders, just make sure you have the working filter at the top of the page here. Make sure you have that selected. So go ahead and click on that, and you should now see those pending orders to close the position. Let's see here. Questions. See a couple questions here. Can bracket orders be used on futures? I'm sure somebody answered that, but outright futures, yes. Futures options, no. You also can't do stop orders on futures options, but you can do stop orders on outright futures. All right, now that we've gone through and how to, I've shown you how to place a bracket order, why don't we go ahead and now get into placing some stock trades here. So just before we do that, I do want to preface by saying, if you don't know, we did increase our extended hours trading session. That now runs from 7 a.m. Central Time until 7 p.m. Central Time. So that you're going to be able to place extended hours trades both an hour and a half before the market opens and then for 4 hours after the market closes as well. So how do we actually go in and place those stock trades now? Well, I'll show you all how to do that right now. So let's say maybe we want to go ahead and line up an order here to purchase shares of Ford. Well, you can see Ford is actually shown in our watch list off to the left side of the page here. So if you want to go ahead and just click on the symbol for Ford, you'll notice that populates a symbol across our platform. So we have Ford shown here at the top of the page, as well as in our right side panel as well. Now, I know we advertise our platform being built all around speed for trading options, but honestly, when it comes to trading stock, it's just as fast. So anywhere on the platform where you see a bid or an ask price for that underlying, you could actually just go ahead and click on that bid or ask price, depending on whether or not you're looking to go long or short the stock. You could go ahead and click on that bid or ask price, and that will line up an order to open a position in that underlying. So right now, maybe we wanted to purchase some shares of Ford. What we can do here is left click on the ask price at the top of the screen here. So if we go ahead and left click on the ask price, you'll notice we're taken back to the trade tab here. Now you'll be presented with the options chain, but don't worry, you're not lining up an options order or anything along those lines. Now, if you change your mind, you do have the option to then, no pun intended, switch over to trading the options directly from the screen. But this is basically the default screen, even when you're purchasing stock. And you can confirm you're purchasing shares of stock just by looking in the bottom left corner of the screen. So you can see here, our order is for Ford stock, and we're going to be buying. We can adjust the quantity of that purchase as well. So maybe we wanted to buy 10 shares instead of one. We'll go ahead and just type that in. Then again, we can adjust our limit price. So let's take a look at the price bar underneath. What's Ford currently trading at in the after hour session? So not too wide here. Looks like it's about 2 cents wide, the bid ask spread. So we'll actually go ahead and just submit at the natural price of $12.12. So we'll keep that the same. Next to that, we have our order type, which is going to be a limit order. So one thing to note for everybody just before we go ahead and get this filled, if you're going to be trading stock in the extended hour session, we only offer limit orders for extended hours trades. So those cannot be submitted as market orders. So just a heads up there. Then also another thing that people will commonly reach out about, if you're submitting an extended hours trade and it doesn't get filled during the extended hours session, please be aware that trade can still get filled during the normal market hours. So even when just because it's an extended hours trade doesn't mean it's exclusive to only getting filled during the extended hours session. It can get filled during normal market hours. So If you're looking to submit an extended hours trade, this is the important part here, the time and force. Right now, we have it set as a good till cancel order. If you're looking to do an extended hours trade, you will have to adjust this to the time and force that is EXT, which stands for extended hours. So let's go ahead and click on the drop down box here. And there we go. Now we can see them all. Sorry, it looks like Zoom was cutting off the menu there partially. But these are the four options you should see when trading stock. You'll see we get a day order, good till cancel, good till date, which with the good till date, this is where you're going to be able to select the date that you would like the order to work until. And then finally, for extended hours trades, you do have to change this time and force to EXT. So now we've got everything set up properly as an extended hours trade. Let's go ahead and hit review and send here. Again, you got the review page, commissions, fees, and then also you can see how your buying power is reduced. One thing to note, we don't charge a commission on stock trades, and the fees are very, very minimal. You can see to buy 10 shares of Ford here, we're only being charged about a penny in fees. So let's go ahead and send this order off. And boom, just like that, we've gotten filled. Now with this filled order, again, you can see it in all the same places I showed you before. So we can see it off to the right sidebar here under position detail. You can also see it in the positions tab. So if we were to navigate back there, you'll notice now we have a line here that shows Ford. If we click on that, we now can see our 10 shares of Ford. And then finally, another place where you can see this work or this open order is actually on a chart. And that's what I want to show you all next is how we can actually trade and make adjustments to working orders from a chart. So you can kind of get a quick breakdown of this if you just look at the quick chart in the upper right corner. But we'll load everything up here on the bigger chart here in just a second once we've got a working order in there. But you'll see here on the quick chart, this is what it'll look like. Any filled position is going to show as a gray box there. It'll have your fill price. And then, yeah, that's just going to be displayed right on the chart there. So it's a neat little way of seeing what your cost basis is for your shares directly from the chart. Now, how can we actually go ahead and submit a working order to close this position and then ultimately adjust it from the chart? So if you're looking to do that, we'll start off here with queuing up a closing order for Ford. Let's go ahead and click on the shares. And again, we're just going to do this from the positions tab, but you do have the option to do it directly from the right side panel as well under the position detail here. So if we were to right click from here, you get the option to close the position. And then now we've got an order lined up to close the position. So let's maybe queue up a take profit order here. So maybe we want to sell to close 10 shares of Ford when price reaches about $12.30. So we'll adjust the limit price there. And we'll also keep this as a good till cancel order. So now what we can do is go ahead and actually, you know what, maybe we should do we'll do an extended hours trade for this. So we'll keep it as a $12.30 limit. And then the time and force, again, we'll change that to EXT. Go ahead and hit review and send the order off. You'll see we have that working at $12.30. Now, how can we actually see this on the chart? Well, it's not going to show in the upper right corner, unfortunately, just because this is a quick chart. So it's a very, very small breakdown. You may be able to get it to show. Yeah, it's going to be really small. So we'll not even waste our time there. Let's just go ahead and go right to the big chart. So in order to make an adjustment to this position from the chart, what we can do is navigate to our chart tab here. So we go ahead and click on that. And then now we're presented with the chart for Ford here. So right now we're looking at the 1 day, 1 year chart, and we can see very neatly laid out both our filled trade and then our working order from here. So again, the gray box, that's what's going to denote your fill price, where you were filled, and that's how you see it represented there on the chart. When it comes to the working order, that's going to be this yellow box here, indicating that the order is working. So just to kind of blow this up for you all, make it a little bit easier to see, let's go ahead and just make an adjustment here to the y-axis of the chart. And if you're, again, following along here, maybe you're not seeing your own working order, double check the y-axis of your chart. Check these prices here, because if you don't have enough prices displayed, or maybe you submitted the working order at a price that's outside of the range you're currently displaying, you're not going to see that working order on the chart. So you'll have to make an adjustment to that range. And that can very easily be done just by placing your cursor on the y-axis itself, left clicking and holding, and then dragging up to kind of widen that out, or down to include more prices here. So just to make things a little bit easier to see, we'll go ahead and just zoom in a little bit. Now we can see the orders a little bit more clearly. So we have our working order here for to sell 10 shares at $12.30. If you're looking to make an adjustment to this directly from the chart, what you'll have to do first is left click on the yellow box here. You'll notice it will highlight, and there will be like a red X that appears. That indicates that you now have that working order selected. So once you've left clicked on it once to select it, keep your cursor on it again, and then we're going to left click and hold. And then now that we're holding, we can drag our mouse up or down to adjust the price at which we're submitting. So maybe we want to adjust at, or maybe we want to submit a take profit at about $12.20. And then once we're satisfied with that, just let go. And you'll notice now the first order will cancel. We now have a new working order, about $12.20. But that would be the way that you could go in and quickly adjust working orders directly from the chart. Make sure I'm not missing any questions here. Okay, yeah, looks like Mark answered that one. Looks like we had some questions about the extended hours orders, auto canceling. Yep. So at the end of the current extended hour session at 7 p.m. Central, if you still have working extended hours trades, they will expire at the end of that. Rick, I see your question here about adjusting options from the chart. I'll touch on that later. It is possible, but you kind of have to go into a little bit of a different spot. You're going to have to pull up the options chart itself, and you'll see the same layout. But I will definitely show you all how to do that in just a bit here. Okay, so now that we've got our working order on the chart, I just want to show you all a couple of other features that we have on our chart tab here. So let's go ahead and kind of just blow this whole thing up, make it easier to see. So we'll go ahead and collapse the right sidebar panel just so it's easier for everyone to see. We'll get on a different chart here. Maybe we'll go to chart for Tesla. Perfect. How did I pull up the chart in the center window? That is going to be with this chart tab right here. So off to the left side of the page, you're going to notice you have some tabs written vertically. It'll say positions, trade, and activity. Then underneath there, we have some icons as well. So the chart tab is going to be this one here. Kind of looks like a grid or a chart. Go ahead and click on that. That will pull up the main center chart here. Once you're on the chart tab, now you have the ability to do a couple different things from here. First of all, we can adjust time interval and aggregation of the chart. So right now we have the 1 day, 1 year chart for Tesla displaying. Maybe we want to show, for example, we'll go down to like the 5-minute, 5-day chart here. Here's the 5-minute, 5-day. Again, at the top of the charting page here, you do have the ability to adjust the chart type. Right now we have the traditional candlesticks, but you also have the ability to do like a line chart, a tick chart. And then we also offer, let's see here, line as well. So we have quite a few different chart options here. I'm just going to change it to the keep it on the traditional candlestick for right now. And then to the right of that, we are going to have, this is going to be our crosshairs. So you'll see as I move my cursor around the chart, you'll see there's crosshairs that follow, as well as an information box that just give more information about that candle that we currently have our crosshairs over. So you can see like open, high, low, and close. Now, right now I have it so it's following my cursor, but you can actually dock this in the upper left corner. If we were to go ahead and click on this middle option here, where it's just the crosshair. If you click on that, you'll notice it docks the info box in the upper left corner. So kind of gives you more room to roam the chart here and without that info box really getting in your way. So you do have that option as well. And then we also have some indicators and drawing tools which you can access. So if you're looking to, I'll just go over these briefly, as we do have a couple really in-depth charting demos posted on our YouTube channel. So Andy did a couple of those. He did a great job. So if you're looking for more in-depth charting on the platform, I definitely go ahead and recommend checking those out. And I'm sure somebody can go ahead and drop those in the in the chat here if they haven't already. But just really quick, you can also add indicators by clicking this indicators button. Now we have a list of all the indicators off to the left side of the page here. So if you're looking to add SMA, for example, go ahead and type in SMA, double left click it from the menu here. You'll notice now that will add it to the chart. And then you can also adjust the style of it to make it or to fit it to your liking. So we can go ahead and increase the width of the line to make it a little bit easier to see. We can also change the color. So maybe if we wanted to make it purple, basically you can adjust this exactly to your liking, set these indicators up however you would like. Again, that video Andy posts or that we have posted on our YouTube channel from Andy goes in depth on a couple of the different indicators, as well as how to change the drawings, how to superimpose, unimpose different indicators. It's a really great video overall. And there you go. Yeah, it looks like Andy just dropped that in the chat. Thank you very much, sir. Steve, how do you save your chart settings for different setups? So if you're looking to save your chart settings, you would do that by clicking on the save button in the upper right corner of the page here. This is going to prompt you to save a CSV file. And then if you're ever looking to load those or load that file in, you just click the load button and it will bring up all of your save files, and you could just quickly load in any of the recently saved setups that you may have. All right, now that I've shown you how to view the chart for one specific underlying at a time, we actually do have the ability for you to view multiple charts at once. That's going to be in our Tasty Charts tab. So if you take a look off to the left side of your page here, directly underneath the chart tab here, this is going to be our Tasty Charts feature. It's the four little squares here. So if we were to go ahead and click on that, you'll notice now we can get up to 4 charts. Let's see, depending on screen size and resolution, it might not let me. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to let me here. Yeah. So the most we could get right now is going to be 2. Screen's a little small here, but if you are someone with a larger monitor, you should be able to gain access to up to 4 charts on here. And then that can be adjusted by using these column and rows tickers off to the right side here. So you can see you can adjust those and then more charts will populate. Again, the max here is going to be 4. But this would be the way that you're able to view different or multiple charts for different underlyings at the same time. So right now we've got Walmart and Tesla. Maybe we wanted SPY, and we'll go with Microsoft, for example. But please do note that the way that you would adjust the charts that are shown is in a different spot. So you can't just type it in the active symbol area like you would for the big chart. Each individual small chart here on the Tasty Charts tab does have its own search function. So you'll have to use that to change the charts directly on the Tasty Charts tab. And then from here, you also actually have the ability to pop the Tasty Charts out. So if you're someone who maybe you don't want to leave the trade tab, but you also want to be able to view the charts or something larger than that quick chart that we get with the right sidebar panel, this would be the way that you accomplish that. So you could keep yourself in the trade tab if you actually go ahead and pop out the Tasty Charts panel here. And that's going to be done with this little diagonal arrow toward the upper left corner. So if we were to click on that, you'll notice a separate window will pop out now for the Tasty Charts. And then this window, you're free to drag it on a different monitor, or maybe if your screen's large enough, just another portion of your screen. So then you can go back to your main trading tab here and actually navigate then to your trade tab. And you could keep this up all while seeing your four main charts there through the Tasty Charts tab. So really, really nice feature there as well. All right. Any questions here in the chat? Anything anybody wants me to go over again? Do know we have to go back to someone was asking about the charts for options. So I'll actually go ahead and show you all that now. I did want to point out one more thing in the options chain as well. So this works out nicely. So with the options chain here, you do also have the ability to adjust a couple of these columns here at the top. So you'll notice as we're in the chain, we have our bid and ask, our strike prices, and then our bid and ask for the puts. Those can't be changed in any way. Those columns are all constant. But again, depending on screen size and resolution, you can actually get up to four customizable columns outside of that. Right now, current screen size is only allowing two on each side. But right now, in order to adjust the heading of those columns, what you can do is just left click on the heading itself, and you'll notice, or you'll know it's customizable because you'll see this little circular icon here. That indicates it's a customizable column. So go ahead and click on the heading. And now we get a list of all the different columns that we offer. So maybe you want to go ahead and see volume instead of extrinsic value. Go ahead and choose volume. See the volume of all the contracts traded today at each of the specific strikes. Outside of that, we have delta currently displayed, but you do also have the option maybe if you wanted to see open interest too. You could see open interest displayed there. So you can pretty much adjust those to your liking. And then now that we're back on the options chain here, I know somebody was asking earlier about adjusting options orders from a chart. In order to access that options chart, what you can do here, and well, maybe we'll go with, let's go ahead and actually go with SPY. So keep the SPY chain open here. And then maybe if we wanted to check out the chart for our 528 put here, if we place our cursor on the line with the 528 put and right click, you'll notice you get the option here to view the option in a chart. Looks like we still have the indicator added, so we'll go ahead and remove that. Okay. So this is going to be the chart or the chart for the individual option itself. Now I know we have some working orders on this position, but please note that is a working order for the spread as a whole. So you're not going to see the same working box here as if we were on the like when we were on the stock trading and we were adjusting the working order from there. Since this is an option spread, there's no working order that's going to pop up on the individual chart for the option itself. Now, if it was just a single leg option that we were trading, we had a working order on that, you would see the working order box here as well. But it's going to look very similar to how the stock trade did. So you'll see the gray box here indicating the price at which you were filled. And then you would also see in the event you had a working order, you would see the yellow working box with the price listed there. Oh, yep, I see it here, Mike. Asking about the risk graph. Yes, so that's going to be in our analysis tab. Thank you for reminding me. That's another thing I wanted to show you all here. So we can see this directly from our curve or analysis mode if you're looking to evaluate the profit or loss zones of a position that you have going for you. So in order to do this, let's go ahead and switch back to our positions tab here. Now, maybe we want to analyze the iron condor here on SPY. So if we go ahead and left click on each of the legs and then right click and choose analysis, this should take us to our analysis mode. I know we have some working orders here. Let's maybe clean up this clutter a little bit just for the demo. What we can do is just click on this gear icon in the upper right corner. And this goes for you all as well. Like if you're looking to analyze a trade, maybe you have some working orders on it that you didn't want to cancel, but you're looking to analyze the trade and their working orders are kind of getting in the way. Click on this gear icon here. And then if we uncheck show working orders, that just removed all of our working orders from the chart. So it kind of cleans things up here, makes it a little bit easier to see. Now, don't forget to move it back once you're done analyzing the position. But when you're on the curve analysis mode here, you can always just remove those just to make the chart a little bit easier to see. So from here, the curve analysis mode, that can be accessed from the trade tab by clicking the curve button. And ultimately, you'll want to click on the analysis button as well. Or if you did it the way I did it, where you just select or highlight the position from the positions tab, right click and choose analysis, it'll take you right there. Another important thing you'll want to make sure that you have when you're in this mode is that right sidebar panel. You'll want to make sure you have that pulled out. And you'll want to make sure that you are in the analysis tab here off to the right. To adjust the zoom here on the chart to make it a little bit easier to see, you can, if you have a scroll wheel on your mouse, that's ultimately going to be the easiest. Otherwise, you can use these little magnifying icons toward the upper right corner here to zoom in or zoom out. Let's go ahead and just scroll back. There we go. Again, I prefer, it's a lot easier if you have a scroll wheel, but you do have the option to manually adjust it with those little buttons toward the upper right corner of the screen. A couple important things I wanted to point out here. I know a lot of times people reach out saying they can't get their risk graph to show. Well, there's a couple buttons you'll want to make sure that you have selected. So first of all, if you're looking to analyze the trade at expiration, you'll want to make sure under lines you have P&L EXP selected. So that's profit and loss at expiration. You'll also want to make sure under zones you have at EXP selected. This is what's going to produce the expiration graph. And then you can see as we move our cursor along the graph here, we have this little information box. You won't, when you're in P&L EX, or when you have P&L EXP selected, P&L at expiration selected, you won't really want to put too much stock in the P&L Theo number you're seeing here. That's going to be mainly used for when you're creating theoretical scenarios, which I'll show you how to do here briefly in a second. And then, but for the P&L EXP mode here, you'll want to look at the P&L EXP figure. So that's going to be the important one here from the information box. As you're moving your cursor along the screen, you can see how your profit and loss at expiration changes if a certain price or if the underlying closes at that specified price at expiration. So you can see how that changes as we move our cursor along. Now, in the event that you are looking to set up a theoretical scenario for this, what you'll want to do is change the lines from P&L EXP to P&L Theo. And then you'll also want to change the zone to Theo. So this is going to be your theoretical profit and loss graph here. And in order to make adjustments to this, this is where the right sidebar panel is going to come into play. So you can change the date that you're evaluating at if you want. So maybe we want to evaluate this condor. Let's see here. We'll evaluate it on July 18th at a date of July 18th. That this is assuming, the current price, all other conditions remain the same, but we can evaluate at July 18th. And if the price, if a price of, let's see here, maybe 550 was achieved. And then ultimately, we also have the ability to adjust the implied volatilities per contract as well. So you would have to check this box here, and then you can adjust the IVs of each of the contracts that you're trading as well. So you can kind of set up your own hypothetical scenario here, especially if you have a feeling that, or you want to see what your profit and loss zones may look like if certain market conditions were achieved. It's nice as you get this theoretical graph. You'll notice now that you've got these scenarios set up, this is where you're going to want to put more stock into that P&L theoretical number. Again, at the end of the day, it is a theoretical number, so it may not be 100% accurate, but it's going to be pretty darn close based on the scenario that you have set up. So you could see that in the information box as you're moving your cursor along. Or you can also see it in the upper right corner of your screen. We have P&L Theo displayed here as well. So you'll notice, like, for example, as I'm ticking the price down, P&L Theo is changing in that upper right corner. So a couple different places you can see it. If you're looking for a more in-depth demo on the analysis mode here, if they haven't already, Christian did a great job of doing a curve analysis mode demo on our YouTube channel. Video is only about 12 minutes long and it covers everything. So if you're really looking to get familiar with this mode, I definitely recommend going to check that one out as well. It looks like Andy dropped that in the chat there. Ron and Mike, yeah, we are getting close to end of the demo here, but if you were to queue up a working order to roll the position, or if you were to ultimately roll the position, the graph would adjust to take that roll into account. But we're not going to be able to get a rolled order filled right now anyways. We can see, so we can kind of create that scenario just by checking or unchecking these boxes up here. So like if we were to roll the puts up, we would uncheck the 523 and 528, and then we would add in whatever we're rolling to. So let's see here. Okay, so uncheck the 523 and 528. Show the working order again. Maybe we were rolling to the 531 and then the 526. Go back to the curve analysis mode. Now we have a graph, a theoretical graph queued up with the new legs here. So you just have to make some adjustments to what's selected in that upper right corner. Again, Christian's video is great. It goes really, really in depth, and we're kind of crunched for time here today. But I definitely recommend checking that one out. Let's see here. And then also, for that one, my apologies. Yeah, just because we're running out of time, but just a note here, Mike, you will have to, you're right, you will have to cancel the working order and then line up the actual rolling order to get a more accurate description. Sorry about that. But Christian's video should cover that. But all right, everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and get things wrapped up here. Just one more thing before we do head off. I do want to point out our couple of our help features here on the platform. So if you're ever stuck on maybe what something means, or maybe you want to review like what's all in that right sidebar panel that we covered throughout today's demo, if you go ahead and click on this question mark icon toward the bottom left corner of the screen here, this is going to direct you to our help center. And on our help center, we have actually over 400 different articles written. So chances are, if you're seeing something on the platform, you don't know what it is, there's probably a help center article on it. So for example, like with the right sidebar menu, type that in. Here's a little help center article on everything in the right sidebar menu. Just another overview there. So ultimately, if best way to get answers to your questions are going to be contacting support. But if you're ever in a pinch, we do realize you're probably looking at the platform most of the time in the middle of the trading day. Maybe you don't have the time to give us a call. Quick little way to get some more information or answer some questions you may have about what you're seeing on the platform would be by clicking on that little question mark icon and then searching in our help center here. But all right, let's go ahead and wrap everything up here. Just one more thing. If you are looking to contact us, here is going to be all of our contact information directly on our help center. So you can see here's our number, our email. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call here tomorrow. We'll all be in the office on the phones tomorrow. All four of us here in the demo. So feel free to pick up the phone, give us a ring. We're more than happy to answer any follow-up questions you may have, or just feel free to send an email to support@tastytrade.com. Put it to the attention of one of us, and we'll be sure to get the questions answered for you. But thank you again, everybody. Thank you all for coming out today. Appreciate it. Hope you all learned something. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your night.